in usually 2 to 3 sessions. So that means you don't have to have any knowledge. You don't have to learn any special rituals. Now, we do have sessions that have chants. We have sessions that have guided visualization. We have sessions that have music only. But the brain states are all done by an algorithm that we've created since the 80s. I was fortunate. In 1986, I was part of a team of 6 people. We invented this field. There was no one doing this. No one was using sound therapy the way that we were using it, and no one was using light therapy. We put it together in a company called Light and Sound Research. So by doing that, we've been doing it since the 80s, continuing to modify and improve it. We're in 120 countries, and usually we work with medical professionals, but 2 years ago, we started opening it up to the general public so that anyone could use this in their home because we created this new headset. So we heard this earlier, psychoimmunology. It's so important that we get out of this neurological lock, what we call this survivor brain. We need to get out of the survivor brain and into the healing brain. And we do this through our psychology because our psychology plays such a big role. And I love the fact that our last presenter showed us the picture from Dr. Emoto that showed the COVID with fear, because the fear of the COVID is much more powerful than the COVID itself. I mean, the COVID itself is just a very bad flu. And most people, I mean, your chances of survival are 0.000, I mean, 0.999, 0.99. I mean, you'd have to be bit by a shark in the middle of your downtown to die from COVID. So some people will, because it happens, they're in bad shape. But the reality is that most of the world doesn't have anything to fear, but the fear of wearing masks, the fear of shutting down systems, those are far worse for us. So, I mean, we have to do that to respect other people. But the reality is that we have to know that our bodies, our physiological system is able to maintain health and vitality. Now, I talked a little bit about brainwaves. This is a current state of brainwave affair. If I was there with each of you, I could guarantee that 90% of you would have a brain that looks like this. We've done about 30,000 scans over the years. And this is the way we find 90% of the brains. In fact, this would be a good one. When you see this delta over here is at 41%, theta is at 24, alpha at 20, beta, this means they are not producing the right neurotransmitters to function while they're awake. This is a sleeping brain while they're awake. And unfortunately, this is the way most people's brain looks. Now, after they use light, sound, and vibration, what happens? Boom, they get almost the perfect brainwave. So we're training the brain. This is what should happen after meditation. Unfortunately, most people that we train or we scan after they do their meditation, this brainwave doesn't change at all because they're not triggering. Now, we have found that if you're using chants in different rituals, different music, you can get this same brainwave. So I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying most people, probably on this call, because we have some professionals, you're probably getting this kind of reaction with your solution. But most people out there that are just playing around, you know, the 95% of humanity that's just trying to do it on their own are probably not getting that result. Now, when Tesla said, if you want to understand the universe, you have to think of energy, frequency, and vibration. So when you're standing by the ocean, remember, you're resonating with your environment. That ocean itself is an isochronic tone generator. It's generating 10 hertz frequency or alpha. It's triggering acetylcholine. That's why we feel good when we're by the ocean. The reason that gurus meditate in the mountains is not just because the mountains are beautiful or whatever. The mountains actually resonate at theta, 7.8 hertz frequency. That means when a guru is sitting in the mountains, they don't have to go anywhere. They're right there almost in super consciousness just by being in the mountains. Now, if you add into that chanting and focusing on, compassion, whatever they're doing to get into that higher state, it's just going to amplify it. Unfortunately, this is what most people live in. Busy city. Busy cities are out of phase with our true health and healing, what we call the biological system, or I call the thriving brain. You have to get out of this. In our Bible, it says you have to be in the world, but not of it. So many people, they buy into this and this is the way they have to do it, especially in America. And I was so saddened the last few years when I've been going to India, seeing the Indian people trying to become like Americans. And it's not healthy. I mean, it might give them more electronics and more goods, But most Americans that are smart are trying to become more like the Indians, or what they perceive the Indians to be. They're learning meditation, they're doing yoga, they're practicing compassion. These are the things that we need to, one of my life missions is to make sure that the world knows what the ancient rishis know, and to be in harmony with our environment, not be separate from it. Now, this is a piece of technology that we worked with and we created that shows a snapshot. I don't have it here, but we actually can also show you your aura. We can show the different frequencies in the aura, because every part of your body has a resonant energy field or frequency. And if you go to braintapresearch.com, you can download some of our research packets. But when we're looking at someone, we can show a pre and post for any procedure, any healing modality. In this case, this was a 62-year-old man. And I'm going to break down a couple of the things, but we don't have time to go through it all. But you can get this on our research site, what happens pre and post. This is one of the studies that we just had published during COVID. And what we showed was one session, this was 100 volunteers, one session of BrainTap improved neurological function by 27.3%. These are not meditators. They weren't doing anything special. What they did was they put on the equipment, they were exposed to light, sound, and vibration, and their body improved. Now, this usually takes somebody 20 to 30 years of deep meditation, like going to the mountaintop to learn how to do this. Our bodies are designed to do this naturally if we give it the right stimulus, the right activity. Now, what I want to share with everyone is that our app, the BrainTap app, there's a magazine called Health Magazine. It's a very well-known magazine over here. That magazine actually rated our app for sleep the number one app in the world. So when we're talking about, this is why I was talking about sleep earlier. We really want to improve sleep function. Now, you can go to braintap.com/TP20, which will give you some special pricing on things, but you can also follow us on social media and learn a little bit more about it.
Patrick, sorry to interrupt you, but we would like to take a research. We have one 15-number shloka, which gives you sound sleep, and which even helps you if you have nightmares or bad dreams, it erases those. So we would like to work and have research with you on this particular shloka, which gives sound sleep. And
I'd love it. I would love that. I already pinged you over in the chat, because when you were talking earlier, I thought it was very fascinating, and I think that we could help get it out to the world for sure, and see how we can do that. Because I think we would love to have more involvement with sound therapy, because I think it's a natural byproduct, and we would add in the light therapy with those to see what we could do. But I would love to talk to you about that. And I think everybody should have my information. It's pporter@braintap.com. And if you go there, if anyone has any healing modality that they think would work with it, but if you go there too, you can get it. I've written 9 different books, but this book is one you can download. It's a digital book, so people can learn more about it. I think I've used up my time, but if there's any other questions or things, I can take them, depending upon what the timing is.
Yeah, Patrick, I have listened to your BrainTap. Sarah always uses it in her clinic, and it really helps us. It really helps us in healing, and light plus sound. It does help us. So we have Helena with us. Helena has come, and she is like favorite of Dr. Das. Das sir really speaks of Helena so well. And we have Rajmalji, our great professor who has worked with NASA, and with him we are working on creating a museum. So we welcome Dr. Rajmalji, who is working with us to create a museum on Jain archaeology plus effect of mantra chanting, Bhaktambar. So we are working to create a school on global wellness plus Bhaktambar mantra and healing plus museum in Nagpur. And it is very near Jain International and Millennium School. So all the healers, including Helena, Patrick Potter, Emoto scientists, all will have a lab, a research lab to work and conduct programs over here. So we welcome Emmy. Emmy is also.
That's really amazing, Manju Didi. And first of all, we would like to thank Mr. Potter for taking out the time and coming here and showing us all about the amazing research work you've done. And on behalf of the organizers of the Global Wellness Summit, Mr. Potter, we would like to extend a small token of gratitude from our side. And I would request the admin people to please share the certificate that we would like to present to you on behalf of the summit. Admin, yeah. Mr. Potter, here's a small token of appreciation from our side. And we've really enjoyed thoroughly the presentation and the amazing work you've done. And we really appreciate your being here and giving us all the time over here. And many thanks to you once again. And now we would proceed ahead. We will proceed ahead with the session today. And for the next session, I would like to invite Miss Amy Buffet from Idaho, USA. Amy is here with us, and yeah, Amy, a very, very warm welcome to you on behalf of all of us over here. And Amy will be our panelist today. The topic for the panel is, I'm sorry, are you not able to? Yeah, can you unmute yourself?
Ma'am, please try again, ma'am.
Amy, you'll have to do it again. Yeah, okay. No.
Ma'am, please try again. Sorry.
Okay, lovely.
I think that's going to work. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. So first of all, let me introduce Ms. Buffet to all of you over here. Amy works in corporate sector and is a wellness activist in USA. And with her will be our eminent panelist, Ms. Helena Vukas from Australia. I guess Teresa Covert is not able to join us as of yet. So we would like, Amy, if you could please take over the session along with Helena Vukas. She's here.
Plus Nidhi ji, Dr. Rajmal Jain is there, who is working as NASA scientist on sound. So he will join the group. First Helena, and then Emmy, and then Rajmal ji. So
Rajmal ji, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, Amy, you can, the mic is all yours. The stage is all yours. You can please start with the session.
Good morning. I wanted to thank Mr. Porter. That was an amazing presentation, and I'm really excited to go check out the BrainTap app. That was excellent. I'm here with Helena Vukas, and we're here to discuss this morning chakra healing and beyond chakra healing. I'm going to turn the stage over this time. Is Helena available?
Okay, shall I start? Can we enlarge me? Hello, everyone. First of all, I would love to express deep gratitude to everyone involved in the Global Summit, especially team behind the scene, executive and co-members of the team, and Dr. Subhendra Das. And it's an amazing shift that's happening here. And I'm grateful to have heard previous talks, and it's like, wow, we're on the right track. So our topic or challenge or panel is beyond chakra healing. So my aim and intention with this one is actually to open it up to new knowledge, which is actually an old knowledge, which links it to epigenetic and genesis. And the saying goes, every human being is born with a gene of a genius. Your genius becomes alive when you follow your heart and soul. So heart is about love, and the soul is about light. And love and light are what makes life. So the chakras, energy centers of the human body, when we open those within us, we become open to those beyond and above us. And we've got the solar star chakra, we've got galactic chakra, we've got universal chakra. So basically, once we start to work on the chakras, we start to work on our kinesthetic senses of the body. So we tune into the high energy and vibrations, and everything in the universe, as Nikola Tesla has said, which is my background, everything in the universe is made of energy, frequency, and vibration. So for some reason, the way I work, I love graphics. Graphic is my passion. I wanted to become an architect as a kid, and I've got a very strongly developed visual cortex of my brain. So when I do graphics, it serves as a KVA learning tool. So beyond chakra healing, that's us. So I came to Australia as a refugee back in 1993. My childhood dream to become an architect got shattered 3 times in my life. First time, my dad said, "You're a female, I can't let you leave home to pursue your dream." Second time, it was because of the war. And then I fell into the trap of, I got married early, raised 2 kids and a family. And eventually I got hit with a depression, serious depression. And rather than taking something to suppress my feelings or emotions, or I actually pondered upon my depression. I've spent some time in silence, and it guided me back into my heart, to my childhood dream. So back in the year 2007, I made a strong decision. So I've set my mindset that way, where I made myself a promise. Nothing from this moment will ever stop me in the pursuit of my childhood dream. And I went back to school. So I worked full time, and I studied full time, and I raised 2 kids back then as a single mother, sole parent basically. So I excelled through all of my studies, even that Tesla is my first language, and my English wasn't competent at the time. So I excelled and actually got 2 Best Students Award for my studies with TAFE, Southwestern Sydney Institute, when I studied the degree for business and marketing. So the Tesla has said, so basically with studies, I have developed many skills through my studies that I have maximized the potential of my brain. So I can absorb information some interesting way. And basically when I come and do the test, sometimes I'll get 100 out of 100, out of 50. So one of the techniques which I'll put out here is called actually mind mapping. And it's called repetition 3 times. Also putting information in a different format, which for me comes in the form of graphics as well. So Nikola Tesla had said, if you want or wish to find secrets of the universe in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So this is me, what happens in the midst of my studies. I have time, and I have started to experience some physical pain within my body. And it took doctors and specialists more than a year to discover what was really happening. To cut the long story short, I was immediately admitted to the hospital for the surgeries, which 50% of my surgeries, so I had 2 operations that followed with side effects and further complications. And luckily, by that time, I already learned, I used meditation and mindfulness to keep me to take me to all of that. And also I've learned energy healing modalities to make sure I recover as fast as possible, and to actually stay away from medications after the surgeries and everything. So basically for the last 10 years, I'm on the other side. The microphone, who's got the microphone on? Okay, so let's go back. I call it crucifixion. So basically what I have discovered, and I'll show you some of the studies that I've done and research. So what I discovered, mind-body connection. And one of the reasons of why we experience physiological or physical problems within our body, it actually goes back to epigenetics. So epigenetics is a field that I first attended and studied work of Dr. Bruce Lipton. So this is probably one of the most beautiful books, The Biology of Beliefs. And I met him back in 2009. I have studied his work. And I would suggest Biology of Belief, his studies when it comes to epigenetics, and also Dr. John DeMartini. So epigenetics is a very broad field, and we are born with a particular genes. And we turn them off, genes get switched on and switched off as we go through life. And usually there is something emotional stimulus responses that trigger genes on and off. So this is me and my kids. One is a golden child and one is a genius child. So they don't argue anymore who's the golden one. So back in, one of the first things that I've done relevant to chakras, I started to study and try, I'm trained in 7A levels of Reiki. So basically I've got an experience where I channeled Reiki energy to over hundreds of people at Mind, Body and Spirit Festival in Sydney. And this was back in 2013 while I was doing other studies. So what I have discovered as I work with people is the experience that they had is that many of them, the dreams popped up, the visions popped up while I was giving them Reiki and attunement or a booster or a chakra healing. And it's like, hang on, if their dreams came true, what's happening, you know, why? And so they were getting clarity in terms of their future direction. And everyone felt lighter, they felt better, they felt more cheerful and fresher after Reiki. So I've done 7 levels of Reiki. One thing that I have noticed as I was channeling Reiki is during the conversation with people is that some people actually go to the same experiences over and over again. And these experiences are perceived as negative experiences. And there is something that actually attracts people to those experiences. And sometimes it's an ego or it's living beyond equilibrium or a balance in life, a balance. So that's Reiki. So basically, in 2013, I started to study with Australian College of Applied Psychology. So I've got a degree. I'm one of the first students that in Australia that's got bachelor degree in coaching. And also at the same time, I'm Reiki healer. I'm rebirther. I did training in rebirthing with Leonard Orr. I traveled to USA. I've done meditation studies with pretty much masters of different types of meditations all over the world. And I did that after I had transcendental meditation experience. I was drawn to learn different tools, techniques, and modalities that can help people tap into their life vision, inner vision. So one of those teachers is just coming next.
So
Okay.
Rajmalji, yeah, Rajmalji wants to speak on sound and.
So these are my 2 greatest teachers, John DeMartini and Duran Melchizedek. So with Dr. John DeMartini, I actually extended, I stretched my mind, and I'm experienced facilitator of his modalities. And if I look familiar, and if you've been on the breakthrough, I facilitated at 11 breakthrough events in Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, and Auckland. So I'll share with you one of the greatest quotes or sayings from my greatest teacher, Dr. John DeMartini. Every human being wants to be loved and appreciated for who they truly are. And this is his innovative tool, which in coaching, they call it the Wheel of Life. And that's one of the tools that I have integrated through my studies. And one of the tools that I have taken a step further, and I use it today effectively as a coaching tool and risk assessment as well, and also for planning, strategically planning all life areas. So Duran Melchizedek, the School of Remembering, Awakening the Illuminated Heart, where I have had an experience of sitting in a meditation, falling into deep meditation, and person next to me enlightening the heart, having experience of enlightenment, transcendence. And I'm sitting here and suddenly this whole flash of wind, hot energy came from the person, and it's like, hang on, what's happening? So when she shared an experience, I said to her, you don't have to say anything to me because I have had that experience a couple of years ago. And I know you entered into the heart sacred chamber. So I say sacred chamber of a human heart called dreams and visions that extend beyond this space and time. But as long as we live this life in our mind, we cannot connect with the heart. So be in the mind. So you can be here or there. So there is a trick actually to be at the both places at the same time. So what we talk about the chakra, the energy fields, I love to explain to people from different perspectives. And for some reason, I feel the best approach here would be to explain it from psychology, counseling, and helping profession, which is where the field where I'm working. I'm not a qualified psychologist, but I've done lots of studies and work on myself, where I can work with people when it comes to unresolved past issues. I can pick up on any transference or counter transference. So we do have our body, we do emanate energy field, and it will all depend where we are at. And the other person, they can actually feel and absorb the field. So we can either, through helping profession or interacting with other human beings, we transferring thoughts, we transferring energy, and we don't have that awareness. But once we develop highly our kinesthetic senses, then we get to really pick up what that is and what energy is that, of feeling, or vibration, or frequency, or emotion. And love being in the heart, that's the best thing to transfer onto others. So it's basically bioenergy. So it's we influencing and affecting each other. So it also serves as interference if we in the mind. So the chakras, these are just basic chakras. The greatest blockages for chakras, which is something that I would love to bring up. Earthy attachments for the crown chakra, illusions for the mind, how to break through illusions by acquiring and absorbing new knowledge, and by staying open-minded. And what's going to stop us from doing it is going to be the ego. I'm too smart. I'm too educated. I'm the smartest person on earth. It's self-righteousness, basically, an ego. And the mind is limited, but the heart is not. Heart is all about love and light. So then the lies, the heart is on the opposite side of lies. It's the truth. So they connected, the throat chakra and the heart chakra. Then the heart chakra is a normal blockage is grief. So grief and loss, I would love to put this out. So normal procedure for any grief and loss is that people go through 2 years, up to 2 years, through new methodology. And something that I do with people, we neutralize that feeling of loss and grief within up to 3 hours. So these are the new tools that are coming out today, and the tool that Dr. Demartini has developed actually works on the mind and works on the mind equilibrium. And it's only at the point when the mind is equilibrated that we can have an open heart experience, that we can really tune into the heart, drop into the heart and feel the love. And once we drop in the heart, then we actually create this electromagnetic field around our body, and everything changes in our physiology. So basically, from the perspective of HeartMath Research and Institute Center, they actually call it socio-emotional intelligence, which in reality, it's emotional intelligence extended through transferring that emotional intelligence of love to the surrounding, our surrounding. So the thing is, this is what global influences, the true one, what they do. They don't use any manipulative or controlling or influencing strategies, but actually it's the heart, the energy of the heart, that's the main attractor. And everyone's attracted to that. So me working in a helping profession, yesterday I went and I did work with people that I haven't supported for a couple of months. And first thing, when they opened the door, they said, they asked me a question, where have you been? And I'm like, well, I was busy. And they said, I missed you. And then what I asked them, tell me, what did you miss about me? So this is where I go, I extend people to a challenge, what did you miss about me? And I get them to be more specific, and what they miss about me, they actually come to the two greatest things. I miss your energy, something about you, I miss your energy. So people can sense and feel. And when they do, I'll ask them a question that will actually point in that direction. So all these serve as a blockages. So what's really happening, we as a human beings, we go through life, certain painful or let's say negative, we perceive it as a negative experience. And we hold on to them. We don't know how to process them. We don't know how to resolve them. And that's actually stopping us. That it serves as a blockage to unlock energy centers of the body, and it's stopping us to live from the heart. And heart is the greatest healer. So heart and the chamber within the heart, which is actually the chamber is a non-physical space within the heart that has a direct connection with the soul. And how it actually works, it works as a vortex. And we need to tune in, fine-tune our kinesthetic senses in order to be able to connect with that. So it's like a tunnel or a vortex. So feelings. One thing that I would love to bring up here, because, sorry, 21st century, we are experiencing a rapidly increasing number of people that suffer from stress, depression, anxiety, and mental illnesses. And when we look at the rapidly changing environment and advancement in technology and infrastructure, the life is getting much harder and it's getting much busier, and it's harder for us humans to cope with all of that. So feelings, people don't know what feelings are and where do they come from. Feelings are, I call them mind flings. So the feelings are the result of repetitive thoughts, where we constantly focus on the negative. While emotions, through emotions, emotion, it's an ocean. So through emotions, they're actually our direct guide or a compass to the soul. So emotions are our greatest gifts that we are born with. And they God-given gifts. That's how I call it or refer to it in most of the cases. And we need to learn how to tune into our emotions. And our highest emotions, it's bliss, love, and ecstatic joy. And these are the natural states of the human being. And where we human do get caught, we get caught in thinking it all comes from the outside, but it doesn't. It comes from the inside. All the fulfillment, happiness, bliss, love, and joy, it comes from the inside. And from the moment that we actually find it on the inside, we create it on the outside. It just comes naturally. You, like a magnet, you're drawn to the same. Because what's made out of love and light, it attracts the same. But what we create, or let's say we set a goal, but we're going to get the complementary goal, positives and the negatives. So Carl Jung had said, shame is a soul-eating emotion. So there are many people who are still stuck in their old issue. And Sigmund Freud, he's really good in unconscious and resolving the unconscious processes. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They will come forth later in uglier ways. And I always, when I work with people, I suggest to them, you know, if you feel stress or distress or depression, whatever it is, it's about finding the triggers. It's about learning how to manage those, how to dissolve them, creating a strategy. So focusing on the solution to the problems and causes versus taking something on the outside, which is very easy to take. And these days, like it's very common for people to go on antidepressants. And it's very common for those that don't use antidepressants. They actually use, especially here in Australia, sale of alcohol and drugs. It's amazing. So this is where we're heading as in the 21st century. So then if I am on something that has chemicals inside, how can I be connected with my heart and soul? Because it affects the mind and it affects the chemicals within the brain. So emotional tigers, be aware of emotional tigers, especially the tigers would be the negative ones, because with the tiger, this is shamanism. So tiger will jump. It's an anger, it's a danger. Be aware of the tiger. So each one of us, we can have an awareness of our thoughts and emotions and feelings. So the feelings, they come from the mind. True emotions come from the heart. It's very important to learn how to distinguish between two of those. So heart chakra, anahata, ana for water, which is the universe and the whole universe and our bodies. It's made out of water. So empowerment, please note. So these are my xenograms, which is my innovation. I'm breaking the word in a different ways to define the meaning, the hidden meaning behind the word. So M, power within me, power in me. So the empowerment comes from within. So coming from the coaching perspective, I would love to just put out one little caution for everyone that's involved in coaching or any type of form of helping profession. Be aware of any projection, because projection on the long run will lead to resentment and rejection. So we really want to have someone in our life that will support us to come up with our own intuition, because intuition is connected with our emotional intelligence, with our heart, with our soul. And unless we follow our heart and the soul, something's going to happen to our body, because our body is divinely made to help us fulfill our purpose, our destiny, our mission, whatever it is. And we're all geniuses. So empowerment comes from within. Enlightenment comes from within. Transcendence comes from transcendental meditation experiences. So I I have used different tools and modalities in the past, and I always go back to the natural one, the mind. The mind is a very powerful organ, and we can come to the stage where we learn how to control our mind and how to drop our intention and attention into the heart. And once we are in the heart, we are connected with the love, we are in positive emotions, and we are creating the energy. So with the meditation, my first experience, I was guided to meditate upon the meaning and purpose of life. So I've done lots of research and started to meditate back in 2009. 6 weeks into my meditation practice, and my meditation practice, people think, you need to sit in a lotus position for like 3 or 4 or 5 hours. For me, my meditation included maximum half an hour, between 15 minutes and half an hour. And that meditation integrated different meditation practices. First one was mindfulness, first stage, then heart-centered meditation practice. And the third one was intention and attention to discover my life purpose. And this is what Carl Jung had said, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. Deep down in our heart, we have that connection with the soul. And even Carl Jung had said, we have forgotten the age-old fact that God communicates to us in the form of dreams and visions. And this is the beauty when we work on the chakras and when we in a state of love, connected with the heart, we then keep coming up with lots of intuition and we can see inner visions. And in 2009, I started to have those inner visions, and lots of my visions have come through, but I followed that path. And not just that, but also, which I'm not going to go into details, I've had metaphysical experiences. So once we come across metaphysical experiences, we then get to understand, hang on, how powerful is the energy? What's out there in this universe? And these are the things that we cannot see, perceive, or touch with our ordinary human senses. Eyes, mouth, ears, skin, touch, skin. Tactile senses are not the same as kinesthetics. Kinesthetic senses, they're linked, but they're not the same. How to develop kinesthetic senses? Through meditation. And what's important with meditation? Daily practice, regular practice, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. And also big thing is those who don't want to practice for some reason, because for some reason I have found that many people, they reject meditation because they put meditation in a particular religious box. Like, that's not my religion, the conflict with my religion. I'm coming from Serbian Catholic background, and I'm mixed. So I question, and I read many spiritual books. So I question meditation, how does that fit in with my religious, my cultural belief, with all of that? But I was guided, my heart was guided to start meditation. And I'm qualified teacher of meditation practices. So I've done my degree with the Awareness Institute in Australia, which is recognized by bodies for holistic healing modalities. And then, as I said, I have also studied with Ronald Melchizedek. I have also studied with Daniel Mitchell, who is part of the School of Remembering. And then not just meditation teachers, but they're also book authors and change makers. So let's go to genius, gene of a genius. So the vision. Okay, so one of the things that I would love to emphasize here, relevant to expanding our awareness of feelings and emotions, it's this beautiful book. So it's by David R. Hawkins, Power versus Force. Because in life, we used to use the force, but real power comes from the heart. So this is his map of human consciousness, which is linked with, it's actually scale of consciousness. And this can help us, like anyone, especially if you work with people like I do, I'll question people to actually find out exactly where they are, at which level of consciousness. And then I know how to take them a step further, or I know where they might be stuck, or I know where they might be having blockages, and what skills or tools to use to help them shift over. So peace, joy, and love, they conscious scale between 500 and 600. Enlightenment is between 700 and 1000, and light in me and me. So it's light within me, light within my heart. So I've spoken to many people, and I would love to emphasize this here too. Some people perceive that enlightenment or soul can be found in a book or some practice. It's in the heart. So we can read a book, we can get understanding and knowledge, but it's only through personal experience. And when we integrate that, is that where we can really find that or reach that stage of enlightenment. So don't get caught in any practice, because life is about growth. And higher chakras, so this is me and one of my famous pose at Gumboya. So Gumboya is one of the indigenous places in Sydney with a very strong earth vortexes. So just going to that place straight away connects me with the heart, puts me with the heart. So I do go to different places within the Sydney. I'm connected with many people who do different practices, and we sometimes meet or we sometimes go by ourselves to meditate. And what has been mentioned before, sun gazing. I also sometimes do early morning sun gazing or late at night. So I've done so many different practices that help me not just open my chakra, but access wisdom of my soul. I call it wisdom, wisdom of the soul. And it took me a step further, where I was able to unlock some of the abilities that we human beings do have, but they are dormant. So we don't know how many abilities we do have, and each one of us has the potential to unlock those abilities. And I'm now working with a kid, 13-year-old child, girl, that's got autism spectrum disorder. And I've done some work with her for 8 weeks. So what I'm doing with the kid, I'm helping her to strategically plan her life and future by helping her to discover her dreams, goals, and visions, and things that she loves to do. Normally, autism spectrum disorder or order, in every disorder there is an order. These kids are highly intuitive, they're highly intelligent, and they're tapping into the certain astral plane or plane of consciousness. And it's more about fairyland. So once I took her through that, then I can align it with other levels and personality traits, which can help me to help her develop strategic life planning. And mommy is overwhelmed. So when I look at how many in today's society, I don't know what word to use, but it's like we humans, we keep mutating. So every new generation is different. And we are day after day after day, more kids are getting born with allergies, epigenetics. They're getting born with so many different, they call it disabilities, but there is an ability, an order in that disability. But not many of us do have skills to support them. In my situation, I have learned or developed ability how to read colors, how to read words, and even single letters. And kids that are born with these abilities, I can work with them effectively. But those who didn't develop those abilities, they won't understand. They won't know how to take them a step further. So it's a bit tricky situation. So that's one of the reasons why I'm putting everything in the graphics. So it can be developed. I'm developing a training manual for those who are working with, for example, kids or adults with autism spectrum disorder. So we got higher chakras. And as I said before, human body is composed of energy centers called chakras. When you open those within you, you become open to those beyond and above you. When you open to the chakras beyond and above you, you're opening up to energies, frequency, and vibration of the soul. And soul is a genius. So relevant to a genius, I have studied genius minds and personality traits and characteristics of those people. One of the very important things which you will find with me in a certain area, I'm like a big kid. So I cultivate my inner child and I do things that make me happy. And how that helps me, it helps me to build confidence. So inner child is a psychology, whole field of psychology that we're actually suppressing the child. So if we look at the child or who we raise as kids, or if we ask kids these days, they live in a different world. They live in a world of fantasy. They live in the world of magic. For them, everything is possible until the point adult comes and says, stop, you can't do that. Or stop, you're not smart enough. Or it's time for you to grow up, you can't play anymore. And this is where we, one of the reasons why we experience negative emotions or feelings, the mind feelings, because we're not living from the heart. We're not doing what we love to do. And what I always emphasize it's like bring your inner child, do the things that you love to do, and start doing things that you stop doing. And the beautiful thing, I call it a magic stick. So when I'm working with people and I want them to tap into their intuition or promote happiness, this is one of the games that I do with them. We go in park and we play bubbles. And then suddenly we get surrounded with 20 kids and 10 parents. Increasing.
Helene, how do we go? How do we go? What is beyond chakra healing?
Okay. Beyond chakra healing. So beyond chakra healing is what I mentioned before. Okay. So it's an esoteric wisdom of the soul. Before you were born, your soul has imprinted secret messages in sacred chamber of your heart to help you remember who you truly are. Who you truly are. You're a genius, love and light. That's the soul. So it's esoteric wisdom of the soul. So for me, what's beyond? For me, it's innovation, intuition. It's opening up to the higher vibration. So what Nikola Tesla has said, he has said, my brain is only a receiver. So when beyond chakra, we're tapping into the matrix. We're tapping into the, we're plugging into the matrix, and it's a divine matrix. And basically for me, I can probably give you an experience of, I delivered the course through Adult Learning Center. This was the course, My Dream Career. And I created a training manual after the course as a follow-up for students. So because I was in love, I was doing what I love. I went to bed, and in the middle of the night, I woke up. And my body was like, didn't move. And I felt so humble, so light. And I felt the warmth around heart chakra, and suddenly tears of gratitude started to come out of my eyes. So basically what had happened in my dream is I tapped into the heart, into the dream. And because of this intuition, so it opened me up to tap into X, Y, and Z number of dreams and visions. So this is beyond chakra. So when we open the energies within us, we then become open to the energies around us. And we become open to those dreams, goals, and visions. And we become open to unique purpose of our soul. So basically with the self-actualization, the field of psychology. So this is the Maslow pyramid of the human needs. So love usually kicks in at this stage, love and belonging. Actually, this is self-esteem, love and belonging. And self-actualization is up the top. So but I usually use Maslow and colors to actually that are aligned with chakras. But what's happening after? We open the chakras and we shift into the pink color. We actually develop the purpose and understanding the meaning and purpose, why we're here, and how everything fits in with our physiological needs. Beyond that, we start to tap into the mysteries. We start to tap into innovations. We start to tap into ideas, and whatever we see in those visions, we might be the ones that will innovate or deliver that, or it might be someone else we're going to see it. So it's like it's form of psychic abilities. You're able to see things that do not exist yet. So basically the time and space does not exist. You can travel through the time and space. So for me, I'm working on the language, Saurus. It's a light language from Sirius, Orion. It's a bit tricky, but some will resonate. And those who will resonate. So this is, they can come back to me and I'll take them further, step further. So the genius, this is a xenogram genius. So it's the gene in us. So it's different colors. If you look backwards, 1, 2, 3, the gene of it's a gene of a sun. So the vision of the soul or the spirit, it's the height of the sun. And I say the soul can stretch, the mind can stretch, but we need to have the energy centers open, and we need to have the chakra open. And those who practice meditation, because they know once they start to practice meditation, they'll feel the tension in the crown chakra. So why the tension? Because there was a blockage, and then suddenly the mind, the synapses, everything in the mind starts to work, and it's opening up. Chakra is, energy center is opening up, and once the chakra is open up, we're opening up to this matrix for whatever exists beyond this physical reality. And that's
so Helene, ideally we would need to heal and open all of our chakras before we can go beyond chakra healing. Would that be an accurate way to put it?
Not necessarily. The way around that is through the heart, because heart is the healer. So if we focus on the heart, we promote or evoke or invoke that energy of love and light within the heart. So because basically I first experienced myself and then I asked others, and it's pretty much the same experience. So when we tune into the heart, so let's say I can put my hand on the heart and close my eyes and drop intention and attention here. So what I'm actually doing, I can feel it on my body. I can feel the kinesthetic senses like a goosebumps. If I stay a little bit longer with that, yeah? So when I stay long enough with that, and then basically I'm charging, energizing my body. And the body is naturally healing because the energy goes around the body and it's energy of love. It's healing places that's needed, the chakras and meridians. And then we're actually opening, for me, just opening to love and light. And when we're ready, the intuition will kick in. And we know when it's intuition. Sometimes it's hard to distinguish whether it's intuition or whether it's our mind talking. But when the body or kinesthetics, we can learn with the time to tune in. For me, it's my body becomes humble and I get silent. I can't talk.